Hey yogis that are also runners, or runners that are also yogis. So this practice is designed for yoga after your run, or before your run, or on your off day. So if you're doing this directly after your run, make sure that you cool down, walk around for a couple minutes, don't just jump right into your practice or it'll be way too much contrast from the external of running to the internal of yoga. So after you've grabbed a little drink of water, maybe a little snack, cooled down, chilled out, time to join us for your practice. So you might want either a couple yoga blankets or a regular blanket or a pillow, and you might want a couple of yoga blocks. So you could use yoga blocks or a big book or like a dictionary or a medical textbook if you have one. And so yeah, let's get started. Today we're going to start in child's pose. So come to a tabletop position, bring your big toes to touch, your knees slightly wider than hip distance apart, bring your seat to your heels, let your chest drape towards the ground, stretching your arms out in front of you. And once you're in this position, feel your breath. Feel your inhales and your exhales, and just notice where they enter and exit your body. Feel where they move through your body once they're in your body. And feel the connection to where your body meets the earth. Feel your shins on the ground. Feel your sitting bones touching the back of your heels. Feel your belly against your thighs. Forehead meeting the earth. Forearms and palms on the ground. Feel how connected you are to the earth relative to when you were running. Two more big deep breaths, just allowing your body to relax, transitioning from run to yoga. And when you're ready, we're going to make this child's pose a little bit more active. Press into your palms. Feel your seat drop more into your heels, your elbows raise off the ground. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Activate your breath, transitioning your inhales and your exhales so they come in and out through the nose. And on your inhale, bring your seat up off your heels, bringing your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your wrists, coming into tabletop position. Stretch back through your left leg just to bring some space into the hip and the calf. Bring that knee back down underneath your hip. Do the same with the right leg, stretching it back, stretching through the heel. Exhale, bring your knee to the ground. Establish your body in tabletop position. Reach from your hips out through the crown of your head. One inhale, exhale, inhale, and on your next exhale, tuck your hips, round your back, drop your head, coming into a cat tilt. On an inhale, lift your hips towards the sky, dropping the belly, rounding, bringing space into the shoulders, gaze comes up. Exhale, Rock the hips under. Press the upper back towards the sky. Gaze comes down. Inhale. Tilt your hips up. Belly drops. Chest comes forward. Gaze comes up. Now continue to make these motions on your own, coordinating with your own breath. You could rock side to side if that feels good for you, working into the outside edges of your hips. An area that needs some TLC frequently if you enjoy running. Next time you're in a dog tilt position, reach your right hand, sweep it up towards the sky, broadening through your chest. Exhale, thread your right hand underneath your left arm, reaching as far as you can, coming into a twist. Inhale, sweep the right arm up back towards the sky. Exhale, thread it through into a twist. One more time. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and out. Gaze comes up, open through the chest. Exhale, threading it underneath the left arm, reaching your right palm towards the left. Palm facing up. Focus on keeping your hips square here to the front of the mat and not allowing them to jut out to the left. Press into your left palm to deepen the twist. If you want, you can reach the left palm up towards the sky if you have the support there for you. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And on your next exhale, press into your left hand, coming back up into a tabletop position. Squaring the hips towards the front, making sure you're long through the spine, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Coming into the second side. Pressing your right hand into your palm, right hand into the mat. Reach the left arm up and out, opening up to the left side of the room, sweeping the left arm up and out. Exhale, thread the left arm, palm underneath the right arm, reaching your left palm to the right, coming into a twist. Inhale, press into the right palm, sweep the left arm up and out. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right, twist. Inhale, sweep out and out, up and out. Exhale, twist. We're going to stay here for a couple breaths. Continue to press into the right palm, deepening the twist through the back body. This pose creates a lot of space in the chest when we often concave the chest when we run. It opens up through the shoulders and thoracic spine. One more breath. On your next exhale, press the right palm into the ground. Sweep the left palm up and out one more time. Exhale, bring your left palm to the mat. And then exhale, bring the seat to the heels in child's pose. If your arms are tired, you can bring your arms down towards your side, allowing a release in the shoulders. And breathe, reconnecting to your breath. From child's pose, inhale, coming back up to tabletop. Step the right hand forward. This comes to the top of your mat, so you're in a lunge position with your back knee to the ground. You can either have your hands, palms on the ground if that's comfortable for you, or you can take your blocks or books and put those underneath your hand, giving yourself a little bit more space. From here, make sure your front knee is over your front ankle, keeping your hips square to the front of the room. Engaging through the core, lengthening through the spine. Don't put too much weight in your hands, but just use them to create the shape. Inhale, press down through your back shin and front foot, lifting up your arms straight overhead. Focus on keeping that contact where you have with the earth, engaging through the back quad, lengthening through the hip flexor. If your front knee comes up beyond your front ankle, lengthen your stance a little bit. Walk your front feet out. Inhale, sweep your arms out, opening up through the chest, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, bring your left arm underneath your right, crossing your arms, coming into eagle arms. And breathe. One more breath. Sweep the arms up and out, coming broad through the chest. Bring your hands back down to frame your foot. Keep your left hand on the ground. Sweep your right arm up, opening up to the right. Squaring through the hips, opening the chest, and breathing. Your gaze could be down, center, or up, whatever is most comfortable for you. Exhale, bring your hand back down to frame your foot. Take your blocks out of your way, bring your hands onto either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toes, bring your right foot back to meet your left, coming into downward facing dog. Pressing the hips up and back, staying long through the spine, releasing through the head. Bend through the knees, bring the hips up and back, then release the calves. Two more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On your next exhale, bring your knees back to the ground. Bring your left foot in between your hands, establishing here in this pose. Once again, you could use the blocks if that's more accessible for you, or you can press the palms into the ground. Bring the hips forward slightly until you feel that stretch in your quad. Pressing your feet and your calf and your shin, back shin, into the ground. On an inhale, sweep the hands up towards the sky. Squaring the hips towards center, coming into a slight back bend. One breath here. Then your next inhale, you're going to sweep the arms out to the side, opening up to the chest, opening up the chest, coming into a T position. Then on your exhale, you're going to bring your right arm underneath your left, wrapping the arms, coming into eagle arms. If this isn't accessible to you, you can bring the backs of the palms together, or you can hold the shoulders with the hand. And breathe. Inhale, exhale, inhale, Exhale. Sweep the arms out to the side, coming back into a broad chest. Bring the hands back down onto either side of the front foot. Press into the right hand. Keep the hips squared towards the front wall. Sweep the left arm up and over to the side. Broad through the chest. Really reaching up with the left hand as to root down with the right. Using that to lever open. Keeping that long extension through the spine. Two more breaths here. Exhale, bring your left palm back down to frame on the outside of your left foot. Tuck your back toes under. Sweep your left foot back to meet the right, coming into downward facing dog. When you're ready, walk your feet to meet your hands or your hands to meet your feet, as many steps as you need, coming in to forward standing bend. Press evenly through all four corners of the feet. As runners, we have a tendency to favor either the inside or the outside of the foot, but find a balance there, as that equally opens the calves and the hamstrings. If you need to put a slight bend into the knees, that's awesome, especially if you have any low back issues. It's very protective. That allows the back to drape over the legs, releasing through the head. When you're ready, press into the feet, rolling up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, coming up to stand. When you're in stand, engage through the quads, engage through the hamstrings, pull the kneecaps up, finding the space with the legs so we can root down through the hips, reach up through the spine, finding length, tucking the tailbone slightly, rolling the shoulders down the back, finding length in the neck through the crown of the head. Open the palms to face forward so you can feel the openness through the chest. Bring the palms to prayer in front of your heart. And pause, setting your intention for your practice. Whether it be to more fully feel your body so you can apply that to your running, or you can more fully experience your body so you can apply that to your life, or you can more fully experience yourself so you can apply that to your divine purpose. Or any intention that you choose. Repeat this 3 times in your mind. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, bend the knees slightly, folding over the legs. Inhale up halfway, bring your hands to your shins, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, folding back into your legs. Inhale, press your feet into the ground, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. 2 more like this. Inhale, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, swan dive forward and down, bending at the hips. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and out, engaging through the core, lengthening through the side body. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Adding on to our half sun salutations, come to stand at the top of your mat. Sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, folding. Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Now, if you still have your blocks or books, that could come in handy here. Put those on either side of your feet, especially if your hips and legs are tight. Next step, the left foot back, coming into a high runner's lunge. Pressing back through the back heel, engaging through the back quad, feeling the length in the spine, squaring the hips towards the front of the room. Inhale, still staying firm through your base. Inhale, the chest and arms up. Staying here for 3 breaths, finding that openness in the chest, balanced with that base in the spine. Slight back bend. If you need to shorten your stance or bring your back heel down at any time, that's perfectly fine. Exhale, we're going to bring the hands back down to frame the foot. Keep the left hand on the ground. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Coming into another open twist. Feel the openness in this pose. Is it through both hips equally? One hip over the other? Just notice what this means, how you feel in this. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, windmill the right hand back down. Bring the left knee back to the ground. Keeping this right knee over the right ankle. Bend the left knee. You might want to walk the back knee back a little bit. Keep the right hand down, and if it's accessible to you, reach back for the left foot with the left hand. This isn't right, but we'll do it the right way on the next side. It's not wrong, it's just not what I meant to do. Inhale, exhale, release the back leg, windmill, the left hand back to the left block. Take the right hand, a windmill back to meet the left foot, bending the left knee. Now, if this isn't accessible to you, you might want to take a scarf, put it around top of the foot and hold it there. But if this is, breathe and release into that back hip and quad. Two more breaths. Exhale, release the left leg, windmill the right arm back to frame the right foot. Exhale, back into downward facing dog just to release the hips for one breath. Inhale, sweep the right leg up to the sky, keeping the hips square. Exhale, bring it to meet the hands on the inside. If you want, you can bring the left knee to the ground. If you're on a hard floor, put a blanket underneath here. Take your blocks or books, bring them directly underneath the shoulders. Walk, flex the foot, walk the foot out so the leg is straight. Engage through the quad to protect the hamstring. Keep the hips square. Don't jut out to one side. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Flex the foot, engage through the quad. Exhale, fold out over the legs. Once you find a position that's comfortable for you, release the neck. Release the upper back. And breathe into any areas that feel tight. If at any time this is uncomfortable, feel free to bend your knee a little bit or completely come out of the pose. On your next inhale, bend your knee. Bring your hips forward so that they're over the back hip. Bring your hands onto either side of the front leg. Tuck the back toes. Extend through the heel and high runner's lunge one more time. Press into the front foot, walking the back foot up to meet the front foot up to meet the back, coming into standing forward bend. Pedaling out the legs here, moving a little bit from side to side, releasing through the body. Inhale, press into the feet, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, bring the palms back to heart center. Second side. Inhale, sweep the arms up and out. Exhale, swan dive forward and down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right foot back. High runner's lunge. Feel how this side is different than the first side that we did. Feel how you can deepen the stretch through the back leg and the front hip by extending through the back heel. Long through the spine. Make sure you need your props if you need to. They're not a cheat. It's a way for you to more fully experience your practice. Exhale. Press into the back heel. Make sure your front knee stays over your front ankle. Don't concave in. Press into the feet. Lever up from the hips. Bringing the chest up. Arms sweep overhead. Anjayasana. And breathe. Stay open through the chest. If this is too much for the shoulders, you can bring the hands to heart center. If this is too much for either of the legs, you can shorten your stance or bring your back heel down. Whatever is most accessible to you. Inhale. On exhale, windmill your hands back down to frame your foot. If your back leg is in a different position, re-extend it into high runner's lunge. Keep your right hand down on the ground. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. Coming into an open twist. And breathe. One more breath. Exhale, windmill the left hand back down. Bring the right knee to the ground. We're going to inhale, come up just to re-square and establish through our base. Exhale, bring your right hand back down to the ground. Walk your back knee out a little bit if that's what makes this more accessible to you. Bend your right leg, reach back with your left foot, with your left hand, grabbing on to the top of your back foot. Notice how this side's different than the other side. Feel a deeper stretch. Continue to flex into that front knee, but don't bring it over the ankle. Or you can walk the back knee back. Your next inhale, windmill your left hand to either side of the front foot. Press back into downward facing dog by tucking the back toes, sweeping the left leg up, extending through the left heel, rooting into the hands. Exhale, bring your left foot to the ground. And breathe. Stay here for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring it between the feet, as many steps as you need. I think I already did this. Oh, no, we didn't. Bring your back knee to the ground. Take your blocks on either side of you, supporting your hands. Straighten the front leg, flexing the foot, engaging through the quad. Finding the length in the spine. First staying more upright. Finding the length in the spine. Next exhale, leading with the chest, keeping that length in the spine, extending over the front leg, hinging at the hips, not at the waist. And breathe. On your next exhale, bend through the front knee, bringing the sole of the foot back down to the ground. Bring the hands onto either side of the front foot. Tuck the back toes, stepping back into downward facing dog for 2 breaths. Or whenever you're ready, bring your knees to the ground, big toes to touch, seat to the heels in child's pose. Reconnecting to your breath. Direct the breath deep into your hips and back body, feeling that soften and open. From child's pose, tuck your toes, press it into your hands, coming back into downward facing dog. We're going to come through some flowing downward facing dogs to three-legged dogs to planks, and then coming into pigeon pose. So if you know pigeon and would like to skip this flow, that's totally great. If not, inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bring it forward into plank, bringing your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, forward, bring your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, stack your right hip over your left, allowing your foot to dangle out over your right foot to dangle out over your left hip, looking under your shoulder with your gaze to the right. Exhale, bring your right foot to your left wrist. Bring your right knee to the ground, aiming to have your shin parallel to the front of the mat, but if you need to scoot your foot back a little bit, that's fine. If your hip does not come naturally to rest on the ground, like most people who run, you can bring a blanket underneath your back hip, allowing your hips to square. When you feel established in this pose, untuck your back toes, allowing your top of the foot to rest on the mat. And breathe. If you feel like you have the space, you can allow your chest to flow out over your leg, coming into forearms. Bring your head to the mat on top of your hands, or if you have more space, coming further into this. You can even use blocks if you want to rest your forehead on the ground, but don't have the space to. Breathing into your right hip. And your next inhale, press your palms to the ground, coming up. Tuck your back toes under, press into your hands and your back foot. Sweep your right foot up towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Bring your right toes back to the mat, establishing in downward facing dog. You can either stay here for 3 breaths or come to child's pose before we come to the second side. Reestablishing with your breath, noticing how the hips feel different from doing one side. Your next inhale, tuck your toes, press into your hands, coming up to downward dog. Inhale, stretch the left foot towards the sky, keeping the hips square. Inhale into plank, bringing your left knee to your left elbow. Exhale, back to three-legged dog. Inhale, left knee to right elbow. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, bring your left ankle to your right wrist, right knee to the ground. Extend back through the right foot. Bring your blanket to your second side, allowing yourself to stay level through your hips. Notice how this side feels different from the other side. Once you're established, untuck your back toes, coming down under the forearms, extended pigeon. If you ever feel any twisting through the front knee, come out of the pose. All the same arm and chest variations can be applied to this side, forearms, head to the hands, head to the block, coming even further out if that's accessible to you. And breathe. Feel what your hip feels like, but also feel like how the rest of your body feels. See if you're holding any tension in the shoulders or the jaw or the face. See what the back leg is doing. See what the palms are doing. Explore the body to experience what you're experiencing. Your next inhale, come up with the chest, tuck the back toes, press into the palms, sweep the left leg up towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Oops, we didn't do this on this side yet. Drop the left heel towards the right, looking under the left armpit, opening up through the left side body. Exhale, re-squaring the hips, bringing the left foot to the ground. Once again, 2 breaths in down dog, or coming to child's pose. Notice how the hips feel now that they're both stretched. Equal opportunity. See how it acclimated that. Child's pose, come up to sit in any way that's comfortable for you. We're going to come, scooch up to the front of the mat. We're going to come directly to lay on our backs. If you have the blocks or the books nearby, that's super helpful. Also, if you have a wall nearby, there's going to be an option to use that. But if you don't, that's perfectly fine. You can use the blocks in the book again, or you don't need them at all either. So come to roll down onto the back, taking out anything from your hair so your head can rest comfortably on the ground. Bring the soles of the feet together, about like 8 to 12 inches out from your pubic bone, depending on how flexible you are. Allow the knees to drop out to the sides. If this is comfortable for you and you don't feel any grabbing through the hips or low back, that's great, and you can stay here. Or you can slip blocks underneath the knees, which that gives you a little bit more support. Now reconnect to the breath. Your arms can be out at your side in a snow angel position, or you can bring them overhead in a goalpost arm position. We're going to stay here for about 10 breaths, so just focus on releasing through the hips. Running is such a one-dimensional or two-dimensional activity that we often don't open up into the third dimension of the hips. So this gives a great release to everything that we've been working on today. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, 2 more, inhaling, exhaling, one more time, inhaling, Finding the openness in the hips, exhaling, releasing. On your next inhale, you're going to take the hands to support your knees, bring them back up towards center, bring your feet in line with the hips, press into the feet, lift the tailbone just up off the ground just a little bit, just bring that little cattail into the hips, bring the hips back down towards the ground. So next we're going to come into a legs up the wall / supported shoulder stand variation. So if you have a wall, I'll show that to you next, so hang on for a second. If you don't have a wall or don't want to use the wall, you can bring your hands onto either side of your hips, palms facing down, engage slightly through the core, press the feet up towards the sky. This is going to be an active version because you really need to press through the heels in order to support the hip, in order to support the upper body, and it's a lot of core going on here. Or you can reposition the feet so they're in line with the hips, press into the feet, bringing the hips off the ground, slide your block or book underneath the hips, and then release the hips back onto the block. From here, you then lift the feet towards the sky. Repositioning the block so it's under like that sweet spot of the sacrum. It's not supposed to hurt at all. And then you can release through the feet here, coming into a much more passive version of supported shoulder stand. And I think we'll leave it here. These two options, no wall today. Sorry. And once you're here, breathe. Find the length through the torso and find how that length equally extends through the feet and the legs. Release any places that you're holding unnecessary tension, like through the jaw or the shoulders. If you want, if you're in either variation, you can pedal out through the legs a little bit, like you're bicycling. Going both directions, forward bike and backward bike. Bring the feet back to a neutral position over the hips. Next, we're going to make some ankle circles. So you're going to point the feet, flex the feet, roll them to the right, roll them to the left. Continue making any motions that feel good for you, working out through the ankles, an area that is very under, not given enough credit when you're running until you get an injury. Bring your feet to stillness. On an inhale, we're going to bring the feet out so they come into a wide position. You can hold this for a couple breaths, or you can bring them back up to center and come through this moving sensation a couple times. Whatever most comfortable for you. Your next exhale, bring the legs back so they're over the hips. Bend the knees, bring the feet to rest on the ground. If you have the block underneath your hips, press into the feet, bringing the hips up off the block, rolling the sacrum and the hips back down onto the ground. Feeling that release of the back body. If you want, you can hug the knees into the chest, giving yourself a much deserved appreciation, hug. You can rock a little bit from side to side, releasing through the low back. Bring your arms out to either side into a T position. Drop the knees over to the left. Whoop. If you have a sensitive low back, you might want to jog the hips over to the right and then drop the knees over to the left. Gives you a little bit more space. Keep the right shoulder on the ground. Gaze can be directly up towards the ceiling or over the right hand. Inhale, press the inner thighs together. Use the core to bring the legs back up towards center. If you jog the hips, reposition them so that they're centered. Hug the knees back into the chest one more time. Allow the knees to fall over to the right. Keeping the left shoulder on the ground, gazing up or over the left fingertips. Continuing to breathe. Continuing to integrate. On your next inhale, bring the legs up towards center again. Hug the knees back into the chest. Extend the legs, extending from the heels through the tops of the hands. Reach the arms overhead. Stretch, 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 stretch. And release all the muscles. Walk your legs out so that they're in 45-degree angles from center in the snowflake position. Allow the feet to flop open towards the sides. Allow the arms to be gently out from the sides. Roll the shoulder blades down the back, staying long through the cervical spine, the neck, releasing the head into the floor. Time for Shavasana, time for integration, time for rest and release. Once you're here, if you feel like your neck needs to be supported, you can put a blanket underneath it. If you feel any grabbing in your low back, you can put a pillow underneath your knees. Once you're here, take a big inhale through the nose and exhale, let it out through the mouth. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Releasing. Inhale. Exhale. Release all the muscles in your body. Release all the awareness of the muscles in your body. Release your control of thoughts. Release your awareness of thoughts. And just rest. Allowing the breath to do whatever it wants. When you're ready, begin to move through your fingers and toes, re-deepening the breath, becoming aware of its natural rhythm. When you're ready, roll onto your right side, coming into a fetal position, resting here, noticing how the body feels. Press into your top hand, easing yourself up into a seated position. Coming to a cross-legged position or any position that's comfortable for you. Feeling yourself reconnected with the world, but most importantly with yourself. Come back to your intention. Know why you're practicing. Know how that cascades into other areas of your life. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank your body for being able to support you through your practice today. Thank your mind for being in connection with your body. Thank your emotions for whatever they brought up for you and you learned from them. Thank your spirit for making this existence on earth possible, for guiding you through your life's way, and bringing you into this present moment. Thank you for practicing with me today. Hey y'all, thanks so much for practicing with me today. Remember, you can do this practice as many times as you would like. Remember, it's a practice, so there's no destination, there's no goal. The art of yoga evolves itself within ourselves and within our world for a repeated practice of that. Depending on how you're feeling at any given day, you can make areas more intense, less intense, more child's pose, less child's pose, more chillness that I'm not even directing you towards. Or, yeah, you could totally do your own thing. And that's the beauty of yoga, because it's all just for you. So thank you so much. I hope you have an awesome run, an awesome day, an awesome life. Om Shanti.